Okay, everybody, welcome back. What you see in front of you are the Retro Collection series of the Star Wars figures on card backs with the Kenner logo. These came out this last year, 2019, and I was not able to get them at Target. They were sold out, even online, but I picked these up when Entertainment Earth had a sale on the set, so I got the full set there. The Stormtrooper, Leia, Chewbacca, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Darth Vader, and then I did pick up the board game, which gave me the Grand Moff Tarkin figure on the retro card. So I think this set is pretty good. As you can see that I have some laying down in front here. I'm going to open these ones up and compare them to the original figures. And also, because this is not the first time that they've come up with like a retro set, I have this box here, which is the Power of the Force set, which has the Luke Skywalker, the Han Solo, the Darth Vader, and the Chewbacca. I'm also going to pop those open and compare them to this retro set and compare them to the originals. Chewbacca first. Now, there's an obvious difference between these three Chewbaccas, right? It looks like this one's taller, but he's on a stand. I mean, okay. So I'm just going to start with it. So I'm just going to start here with Chewbacca. And you can see, like, the one that I have in the middle is my vintage 1978, 77 Chewbacca. It's the original one. So you can see he's got some discoloration in the legs, but he's very gleaming. This one's got, like, that nice shine to it also, right? And you can tell where the arms are, like, a little bit duller here, which I think is going to give that same fade. This one's just got like a really light brown all the way around. He doesn't have that shine. This is the Power of the Force version. But I think overall, the look of these three figures is about right. I think they did a good job on all of them. I don't have the bowcaster for the original, but if you look at the bowcaster for the vintage figure, it's here. Looks good. It's, you know, just like any reproduction. It's like any reproduction you might get online. The difference between these two bowcasters is the color variation, right? So you can see the Power of the Force one's a little bit bluer, and the Retro Collection's black. Now I did think about not displaying those other figures and like stealing the bowcaster for my Chewbacca here, and this one works pretty good. But also this one works pretty good too. So, I mean, it would complete like my Chewbacca, my vintage Chewbacca, just to give him the weapon. And that might do it. There's two different versions of the hand. There's the big head hand and the small head hand. And obviously, I don't have this head sculpt for my Han Solo. And the Power of the Force kept to the mold or the version that I have. But the biggest difference, the thing that I noticed right away with this Retro Collection figure, he comes with a blaster, but I couldn't get this guy to hold on to it. I mean, every time I tried, it would just fall out of his hand. So what I thought about doing is seeing if this hand can hold it. And sure enough, this hand can hold that blaster, but the Retro Collection hand couldn't. Well, maybe he can't really hold that either. But this guy can sure hold this one. He's got like a really tight grip. I mean, this is kind of loose. I guess I could give him this blaster if I wanted to. Right? But these two hands cannot hold the Retro Collection blaster. Princess Leia figure, and there she is, dropping her pistol. And she can't really hold on to it, but I think that overall, I think they did a good job. I like the feel of it. I like the shine. The paint job's good. The hair color's good. Everything looks good on this figure. But if you look real close at the face, you can see these eyes seem to have a little bit more detail, and this is the vintage figure. So I really like the way they painted this one better. I'm just comparing these two. You can see the shine of the Retro Collection figure and versus the dullness of the Power of the Force. They both have lightsabers. One is shiny, one's not so shiny, but they're the yellow lightsaber, which is kind of nice. And you can see that this Luke stands a little bit taller. So if you look really closely at some of the molding, I mean, it looks all right. But the retro one really is more like the original. And I got this Luke. He's got his like little utility belt with a grappling hook. And I got him with a blue lightsaber here with a broken tip. But you can see like this hair is like really yellow. It's painted very nicely and stuff like that. But this is my original Luke, and this is the Darth Vader figure. I mean, it's not hard. You can see Darth Vader's got his telescoping lightsaber. He's got a good paint job on his chest, right? This one doesn't have the bright reds and stuff like that, but this is the power of the Force. So the capes are nice. They are the right fabric. And this is my original Darth Vader. I don't know why he lasted so long with his lightsaber intact. I don't know. I think he was in a box. But so the first set was 6 figures plus the Grand Moff Tarkin, and everybody's like trying to say which figures that they think are going to come out, and I have my own guesses too. So I'm going to put my vintage figures down as my guess of which ones they're going to release. So I got my vintage figures here, and these are the ones that I think that they're going to come out with. I think they're going to stick with a Bespin theme. That way they can get Lando Calrissian out and Boba Fett. This set will be a complete play set if they release it this way. They'll have the Han Solo was Bespin, the Leia was Bespin, Boba Fett I think is a no-brainer because they've released this figure a couple of times with the rocket firing and stuff like that. So I have no doubt there's going to be a Boba Fett. Lando Calrissian, of course, because he was the main character that was introduced. And you got the Luke Skywalker and Bespin. They're going to release a Hoth game with this Stormtrooper. Now that would make sense. But I have a feeling what they're going to do is they're going to release these figures and they're going to release Yoda with the Yoda game, the Dagobah game. Because there was actually a board game that featured Yoda. And I think that they'll release it. And I think it would be interesting if they released it with one of these, like a little carrier, so they can put them on the back of Luke. So those are my guesses that it's going to be these characters right here. Thanks for watching.